Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take source material, unpack it, and turn it into really sharp, actionable insights for you. Basically, helping you get well informed without all the information overload. Today, we're looking at something pretty unique. It's a personal This Week in Review dated June 29, 2025. Really a candid look at how one person tracks their progress across just a huge range of goals. Health, hobbies, you name it. Our mission then is to dig into these notes, pull out the valuable stuff, the nuggets of knowledge, so you'll hopefully gain some perspective on goal setting, self-monitoring, maybe even finding a bit more balance in your own life.
Exactly. And this is, well, it's a fascinating window into how personal growth actually works day to day. It's not just the goals they list, but the specific challenges, the little discoveries they make along the way. We'll be really zeroing in on how this individual juggles their aspirations with, well, the daily grind and what that can tell you about consistent effort versus those kind of surprising breakthroughs.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The notes wisely start with health. The purpose is stated very clearly: to empower myself to pursue other things actively and healthily by improving your quality of life in the long run. A solid foundation, you'd say.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And the first thing that jumps out is sleep. The goal was 7 hours a night.
Right.
The actual average for the week, 6.71 hours. Seems close, maybe.
Close, yeah.
But then you look deeper. A low of just 5 hours one night, a high of 8, and mentions of multiple sleep sessions.
Mm.
And what's really interesting is how clearly they note the impact of that inconsistency. They conclude this inconsistency in shorter durations suggests there's room to improve regularity and overall duration.
Mm.
So for your own goals, this makes you think, right, how much does hitting that average number like 6.7 really count if the day-to-day is all over the place? Is it the average or is it the rhythm?
That's a great question. They clearly saw the inconsistency itself as the issue, not just the average. It's about the rhythm, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so from sleep, let's look at walking steps. Target, 5,600 daily. And they actually averaged way higher, 7,162 steps a day.
Crushed it on paper.
Yeah, but hold on. The range was huge. A massive 12,928 steps one day, then down to 4,510 another. And here's the kicker, the observation. Overexerting your body will lead to sporadic pains in the foot, which will need to rest the following day.
Exactly.
So even beating the target doesn't mean it was, smooth sailing. It feels like this constant negotiation. You hit the steps, but maybe your feet complain later.
It's that real-world challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pushing for activity but trying not to get injured. It kind of forces you to think about sustainable consistency, maybe even on those lower days, just to avoid those big swings and the pain that follows.
Right.
The takeaway for you might be that sometimes, less sporadic effort leads to more consistent injury-free progress.
Makes sense. Okay, intermittent fasting and diet. This is interesting. They actually reduced their fasting cycle, went back to normal meals, and noted that inflammation had subdued. Weight stayed stable, around 67.31 kilograms. The notes mention an Asian BMI of 22.1, which is apparently at the higher borderline of the normal range. Diet was mostly outside food, but they tried for balance, the 2.1.1 ratio, plants, protein, carbs.
Okay.
And here's where it gets really compelling on the diet front. A new medication seemed to improve the overall situation and reduce the inflammation significantly. Crucially, they've also identified a list of foods that cause the inflammation and have to consume these foods under moderation.
Specific triggers.
Exactly. And this realization, as you age, your body reduced its ability to optimally digest these processed foods, which we've all to be mindfully aware and consume wisely. That feels like a big insight.
It really is. If you zoom out, it shows this very personalized adaptive health approach. It's not just following a plan. It's deep self-observation, identifying your triggers, listening to your body, adjusting as things change, like digestion with age, becoming your own health detective almost.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Workouts next. The goal was short, a 6 or 7 minute session daily. Activities were things like gardening works here and there, raking leaves, preparing garden areas, light walks after meals, house chores, stuff integrated into the day.
Sounds practical.
But then, the struggle. It's rather hard to build a habit of daily push-ups, as I kept forgetting, something that we need to adjust further.
That sounds familiar, right? Even with goals, specific new habits are tough.
Oh, absolutely. It shows even someone tracking meticulously hits those common walls. It makes you wonder, for your own habits, are they really integrated? Or are you just relying on memory, which, let's face it, often fails?
Right.
Maybe the forgetting isn't lack of desire, but just lacking a clear trigger, or it's not hooked onto an existing routine properly.
Good point. Okay, let's shift gears. From the body to mind and skills. The structured approach continues here. First up, meditation. Goal, simply to exercise your mind.
Uh-huh.
The practice involved the progression of 3 steps of sitting meditation, usually just for about a minute, but also, cleverly, walking meditation for 1 to 5 minutes during other activities. Walks, raking leaves, chores. Integrating it again.
Yeah. And the observation. Mentally noting your thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Stoic as usual, especially due to reduced inflammation. That connection again.
That is fascinating. How much does our physical state affect our mental one? Linking being stoic to reduced inflammation. It suggests this really deep interplay. Definitely worth considering in your own life, maybe sorting out physical issues is a path to mental calm.
Interesting thought. Okay, cooking. Purpose. To take control of our consumption, manage it ourselves, learn new skill.
Practical goals.
One goal. Prepare vegetable in the fast and effective manner. This seemed consistent regular miso soup with veggies, prawn, tofu, sometimes beans. The other goal, though, cook different egg recipes. Reality, just regular hard-boiled or microwaved eggs, although they did discover many recipes to cook the eggs using microwave.
Okay, so a small discovery there.
Yeah, it's great to see skills being built, even one egg recipe at a time.
Yeah.
But it does highlight that thing, doesn't it? How many of us mean to explore new skills but kind of get stuck on the basics?
That's a very perceptive point. That gap between wanting to and actually doing it. Maybe the answer isn't just trying different recipes, but actually setting aside specific learning time. Or finding a really strong reason to push past the default. Turning passive interest into active learning, even in small steps.
Yeah, converting interest to action. Okay, decluttering. Aim. To adopt a minimalist lifestyle. The consistent action was neat. On the way to the kitchen, clear one item from any areas within the house, a great micro-habit.
Simple, effective.
But progress on the workspace was just minor paperwork. And then the lingering stuff. Still no progress on the replacement curtains and the neglected drawer. Also, mention of preparation for gardening spaces.
Right, so this really shows that habit reality. The small integrated things like clearing one item, they stick. But bigger stuff like curtains or that drawer needs more deliberate effort, maybe a whole different strategy. It's a reminder for you. Small wins count, but don't let the big tasks fester forever. They might need their own dedicated time slot.
Good point. Moving to reading. Goal. To improve my writing, consume wisely, and boost my mental health.
Broad goals.
There was a specific health book mentioned, something about blood pressure, sugar, lipids. Ooh, the note. Nothing on this yet.
Okay.
However, they did spend 5 to 10 minutes daily browsing various books, skimming through fiction titles and gardening books. So you see that push and pull, right? Reading for targeted knowledge versus just reading for general interest or escape. It's common.
Absolutely it is. It's that difference between reading for a specific, maybe slightly chore-like purpose and reading just for enjoyment or curiosity. Both are good, but, the fun one often wins if the motivation for the other isn't super strong. For you, maybe it means acknowledging that skimming for mental well-being is perfectly fine sometimes. You don't have to finish every nonfiction book.
True. Okay, coding. Purpose. To enjoy building stuff, learn, and contribute back to the FLOSS communities. That's free Libre open source software. The goal was daily PR contributions, pull requests, suggesting changes to languages like Go, Python, Elixir, Erlang, or Rust. The reality, hopping through GitHub repositories addressing trivial typos across various projects that have piqued my interest.
Typos. Interesting focus.
Yeah, and for their own recreation pet projects, it was mainly regular maintenance like fixing existing broken tests and improving the test coverage.
What's insightful there is the focus on those small, consistent contributions. Fixing typos, maintenance, not necessarily building flashy new things. It speaks to a sustainable, almost humble approach to skill development. It's about showing up, contributing value, even if it's small fixes.
Right.
For your own skills is a powerful reminder. Steady, small improvements often beat waiting for that big breakthrough idea.
Absolutely. Okay, writing. Goal. To communicate, convey thoughts more effectively, document progress and discoveries. Target was ambitious. Publish 2 posts per day and read back old posts.
Wow, 2 a day.
Yeah, but the observation is gold. There are days when you can simply churn out good writing simply because you've something interesting to say. They give an example, a post about discovering potentially the best way to propagate coleus plants.
Ah, the gardening connection.
Yes, described as having a good time writing down my observations and discoveries, which I've not experienced for quite some time. But the other goal, blogging about tech stuff, nothing on this yet.
So passion wins again.
It really seems like it. Passion, genuine interest, discovery, they seem to be huge drivers for productivity and, importantly, joy in writing. Maybe more than just hitting a number target. When you're genuinely into it, the words just flow.
Precisely. It's that classic tension, discipline versus inspiration.
Yeah.
Discipline gets you to the desk, but authentic interest, that aha moment from the coleus discovery, unlocks a different level of flow, maybe even quality. For your creative work, maybe focus on nurturing that curiosity, finding that personal connection. That could be the real fuel.
Good advice. Okay, finally, let's touch on personal passions, hobbies, where maybe the metrics are less strict, more about enjoyment. First, fish keeping. Purpose. To experience the joy of fish keeping and breeding.
Nice.
Goals involved a yellow-blue rack status. Nothing on this yet, still contemplating on how to properly leverage this rack for gardening and fish keeping, and finding species for outdoor ponds. Also, nothing on this yet.
So this makes you wonder, what happens when you set a goal, especially for fun, but things just stall? Maybe external factors, maybe lack of clarity on the next step. It shows that sometimes the block isn't desire, it's logistics, or just not knowing how to start. For your own hobbies, worth asking. Is your nothing yet lack of interest, or just needing to figure out that next small step?
Good question. Now, gardening. Purpose. To improve your health, connect with nature, and learn a new skill. Growing plants from seed cuttings gave valuable insight on how to handle your seedling.
Learning by doing.
Exactly. And here's a fantastic specific insight. Discovering which different plant species reacted different to the harsh weather, especially under heavy downpour. Those with shallow root system will definitely more prone to falling over, something that we need to overcome in future project. Real practical learning from observation.
That's brilliant.
And for setting up new gardening workspaces. Still contemplating on the rack design, but I've started preparation of the front yard balcony. So, some progress, some contemplation.
That gardening insight is just a perfect example of learning through direct engagement, isn't it? Not from a book, but from watching plants react to rain. It shows how profound lessons can come from just paying close attention to the world around you. A reminder for you. Look for those micro lessons in your own daily experiences.
Definitely. And finally, photography. Purpose. To capture memories and explore creativity by expressing thoughts through stories. Goal. Find the best macro lens for your mobile phone. Status. Nothing on this.
Another one stalled at the starting gate.
Yeah, seems like sometimes that initial research or decision phase can just hang there, delaying the actual doing.
Happens to the best of us.
So what an incredible deep dive this has been, just into one person's detailed tracking of their life. We've gone from sleep rhythms and diet discoveries to coding typos, writing flow, and even lessons from droopy plants. It really shows how powerful detailed self-tracking can be.
Absolutely. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, it demonstrates that real progress, well, isn't always a straight line upwards. It's often messy. It's in those detailed observations, the successes, the setbacks, the aha, moments like the gardening one, that we find the richest insights for our own growth. It really underscores the importance of not just setting goals, but really understanding the day-to-day realities, the small discoveries that come with chasing them.
So, what does all this mean for you? Maybe consider how paying close attention to the small details in your own routines, perhaps in a hobby you hadn't thought of as a teacher, like the gardening insights about roots and rain, how that observation might reveal something profound about resilience or adaptation, or just how to keep going in your own life. What overlooked detail from your week holds a hidden lesson?